Over the past several years, Americans have been flooded with violent graphic images on TV and in the newspapers covering issues involving the relations between Black Americans and the police. In a climate where 69% of Americans say race relations are generally bad, blacks hold a very pessimistic view.
Walter Scott, North Charleston, South Carolina.
Tamir Rice, Cleveland, Ohio.
Michael Brown, Ferguson, Missouri.
Freddie Gray, Baltimore, Maryland.
Eric Gardner, Staten Island, New York.
We have police agencies which are specific to the localities that they work in. Seattle is a very, very progressive area. It's got very high expectations of its police officers and police agencies. And it's been my experience that the police agencies I've worked for live up to those expectations because we live in the region that we work in, and most of us hold the same progressive ideals that the rest of the region holds. So because of that, I have not seen major issues in the Seattle area.
Is there anything the King County Police Department is doing to proactively address this key issue?
We have extensive training on diversity, and that includes LGBTQ issues. It involves minority issues, and I use that as a general term, meaning that that's a big term that includes all sorts of different communities, and each one of those communities has different needs, concerns, and issues. And we have extensive training to work with those issues and to work with those communities. So yeah, we are trained very, very extensively on that. There is so much misinformation about police work that is spread throughout the media. It's spread throughout just word of mouth. It's spread throughout rumors. Think critically with every single thing that you're shown. Who is saying this? Why are they saying it? What do they have to gain from it? Whether it be from the police side, or from a protester side, or from any sort of middle ground, who's saying it, why are they saying it, and what exactly is being said? And that's the thing I'd say most, is to think critically when you're facing any sort of police issue, and really look at everything you can. The thing about American policing is that we are citizens. Okay? We're members of the community just like you are. We're drawn from the community just like you are, and we're men and women who work within our own communities. Okay? Because of that, the world is changing, and some not so great. Some of it is really for the better. And what's happening is we need to reflect that in our police departments, and we do reflect that in our police departments because our members of the police department are members of the community. We are you, you are us, that kind of thing. And a lot of people don't see that, and a lot of people don't believe that. But it's absolutely 100% correct. And in this country, and in this region particularly, more than anywhere else.
There's recently been a new president elected. Do you think this will affect the way you police?
Not the way I police, no. And the way that this region polices, no. I think the expectations from the federal government and what I expect to come from this administration, I think, yeah, that'll absolutely change. The Department of Justice is going to change. I think the expectations under the Department of Justice are going to change. And I'm not so sure where that's going to go. But I will say that I'm very proud of what we do in this region. I'm very proud of my agency, and I'm very proud of the men and women I work with. And I don't see that we are going to change. The expectations through this administration might, but I don't think we will.
Sometimes just having police presence can defuse a situation. If the first step is unsuccessful, the next step would be to approach the suspect in a calm manner. If verbalization is unsuccessful, officers should use bodily force or restrain the suspect to further control the situation. The next step would be non-lethal force, like pepper spray. Finally, The last step is lethal force if a situation is so out of hand that the suspect needs to be killed.
In order to understand police brutality, it is important to understand racial profiling, because historically it has played a huge role in how Americans see people of color, especially police. Racial profiling is the use of race or ethnicity as grounds for suspecting someone of having committed an offense. In other words, judging somebody's actions based on their appearance. And further, this can lead to actions going against the Civil Rights Acts, which states that people may not be treated differently based on their color or gender or national origin or race.
To get deeper into this subject, we wanted more opinions. So, we headed to the mall.
I think with a small amount of policemen, yes, it is an issue with police brutality. I think more so it's a matter of financial. I think poor people are more likely to get brutalized than people of middle class or rich, regardless of the color.
I think you need to have community-based policing and community-based help and community involvement. That's where it needs to come together. It can't be pulled in from far away. It's got to be something that's central and close to the community.
Like I would just say like the whole like the police department and like justice is no justice. Like I believe like it's correct because there are some people like in the police department that are racist. There's people in the police department that are KKK. There's judges that are racist and so forth. You know.
As our country moves forward, police brutality needs to be addressed in a big way. We as citizens need to advocate for ourselves, have the uncomfortable conversations, support others, and make our voices heard.